welcome to one of the after parties of day 2. So this is your chance to relive or get the synopsis for the attendants that are on your watch later list, so that you can hear them played up before you got a chance to watch them again. This is part of the AuthorTube Writing Conference 2023, the second year that we've done this. And I say we because I actually was one of the speakers on the first go round. So I feel a part of it. The origin story. And this one, unlike the first one,
like last minute too, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we need someone. Can you do it? And you're like, yeah, sure. And
yeah,
it was like, you blew me away with what you presented.
Luckily, y'all are so easy to work with. Like, y'all give me nudges, and especially this round, you're like, hey, we kind of need the link for this. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm doing it now, getting my computer, I'm so sorry. But we are still AuthorTube Writing Conference is sponsored by Fictionary, and I actually delved into them today. It was kind of fun. I uploaded my multiverse scientific sci-fi, I guess. I feel weird saying sci-fi because the only sci-fi thing about it is the multiverse. There's kind of it's this whole alternate reality, I guess, type thing. So it's still realistic, but it's
maybe soft sci-fi.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like how there's like urban fantasy, if there's an urban sci-fi realm of it, I guess, kind of go with that. Either way, but I uploaded that into it, and it's one of my shorter manuscript. I got a 70,000 word one, and then this one's like 30,000, maybe rounded up to 31,000.
Oh, okay.
But Fictionary broke it out and was like, hey, we recommend Inciting Incident in chapter 1. I got that, and they recommend major plot point in chapter 4, another one based on 23 chapters.
I gotta try this thing.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, and it listed all my characters out.
Mm-hmm. That helped me.
And yeah, and it grabs all the names. Now I did have to go in because it will actually give you a first, middle, and last on some of them. Well, it did grab, I'll give it this, where it said Terry first name, correct. Shoulder nudged hyphenated as the middle name. And the last name Judy. And I was like, and so I deleted the middle and the last. I was like, that's not Terry's full name. Terry's full name is actually Brittany Teresa Cole, and it did grab that as a full name.
You can merge the characters too.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay, so question about that. So Judy, the main character, is short for Judith. And I wanted to merge them and be like, hey, this is the same person, but I don't want the names to disappear, because I did want Judith because her ex calls her that, and she's like, I hate that. And
it recognizes it.
Okay, I didn't want to like say, hey, everywhere you see Judith, put Judy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do that. I had the same thing because Ari likes to go by Ari, but her full name is Arian. And then there's one person calls her Lady Ari. So I had Lady Ari, I had Arian, and then I had Ari. But she likes to go by Ari, so she's Ari from us book, and I merged all three.
So then I can adjust that because it's Brittany Teresa Cole is also called Terry for short. Is what she goes by. So okay, I'm gonna go back in and merge.
I love that.
But yeah, it listed all the
characters with multiple names too. So no, that's fantastic. I gotta try this thing. That. So after the conference, that's what I'll do.
Like seriously, and I clicked on it. We get 2 weeks free. It has a countdown. A month? Okay.
Yeah, from here you get a month. If you go to the AuthorTube Writing Conference link, it's a month. If you go to the website, it's 2 weeks.
Oh, I think I clicked from the website or something. I might have done something.
Yeah, no, click from the AuthorTube.
We have our own page.
Don't be
the
like
numbers
me.
will look good, and maybe they'll support us next year.
Everybody in chat are watching after the fact. I'm your guinea pig. the link. I've been using I got the link down below that I just copy and paste from what y'all sent out. So hopefully that's the correct one.
That's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
And it says AWC 2023 or 2023 AWC at the top. So when you click on it, you'll see it right there in front of you.
Yeah. So don't be like me. But I will say it is easy to sign up. So you know how when you do like a freebie thing and they go, hey, give us your card and everything. They didn't ask for one. Nope. I just gave my email, first name, last name, and everything, and that was it. So if they want money, they'll nudge me again, I'm sure. But it made me feel a little more secure trying this without like this lingering on this date. I need to make sure to cancel it.
Yeah.
And now I'm not thinking about canceling it. I'll just say so.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Is it a real world month, or is it like 30 days of use?
I think it's from the day you sign up 30 days later, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it worked for the 2 weeks. Because when I first tried them out, I just tried them out for 2 weeks. So, and it counted down those 14 days. When I was coming to the end of 14 days, I got the email saying, hey, you're about to come up to the end of your trial period, that kind of stuff. Do you want to continue? Yeah.
It's nice. And I did like going through and editing, because I'm going through in Chrome and it still works with Grammarly too. And I'm actually editing it in the system. Yeah, I'm editing it in their software system. So it's going to take me copying and pasting chapters, I think, but it helped use up some of my day today, especially when we had that break from 12 to 1:30, was it?
Yeah, Eastern.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Eastern time because I'm in Central.
Yeah, I'm Central too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was so tired that I showed up late to the opening session. I showed up right when we were supposed to go live, and I thought I was showing up a half hour early to meet with Margaret, because we said we were going to meet half hour early. And so I showed up and I was showing up right where we're supposed to go live, and everybody was there. It's like, oh, you guys are all here early. And like Margaret's like, no, we're going live right now. I'm like, oh. And like I don't usually mess up time zones for my own channel, but I was just so tired that I was not logically thinking through it very well.
It's fine. So to make sure you're not in this situation like Shannon was, go to the website, link is down below, and click on the schedule. Start planning out what videos you're going to watch, and then what are you going to watch live, and then what are you going to tag to watch later, because it happens simultaneously with another one. Just plan that out and go ahead and write down on a separate sheet of paper for your time zone if it's after Eastern. Yeah, that's the best method in my opinion.
And just, that break was really long. I mean, it was supposed to be a half-hour break, but we had a special guest speaker who chose that first hour to speak, and then they overbooked themselves, and then we tried to work with them, but in the end, they couldn't present.
Honestly, it worked out because as much as I love the conference, I was so eager to do research, to get some writing done, to edit and everything. And that's what I use that time for. That's when I was in Fictionary. That's when I was. So to me, it's kind of like okay, use what you learned. Especially, oh my God, downloading. I haven't downloaded yet. I'm still doing research because now that I know that so much is out there, but dictation, I'm really considering it now because
I use it.
I might be a believer soon.
Anita says that she used the break to support an author at her book signing. So
I love that. Yeah. So important. Definitely set the notifications. So on the website, the YouTube link, the website links to if you click the YouTube icon next to the thing, it will link to the video, or as well as there's the playlist that you just scroll through. But if you click on each video, it will have a countdown to your time, and you can click notify me. Now, I admit sometimes YouTube is delayed on their notification, but it's nice to have that secondary check.
Yeah. No, I've definitely done that. Though there's a lot of people, it's just like, I wasn't getting up at 1 o'clock this morning to watch some. So it was like, I can't watch any before 6 a.m. Sorry. But that's just me being annoying in Australia. But I will be up tonight because I'm talking at 3:20. So a.m.
I know.
My time.
Joe, can I tell you, Margaret and I, when we read your pitch, it was after we'd already done, we set the guest speakers' pitches off to go get rated by all of our blind judges. And so all those were off. And then we looked at the speaker pitches. And the only thing that we did when we looked at speaker pitches was to make sure that they met the guidelines of the AWC, because we weren't choosing the speaker pitches. It was just making sure they met the guidelines, and then everyone went into the random drawing. But when Margaret and I read yours, we're like, why didn't she apply as a guest speaker? Because it was so good. It was so good.
I bet you had a bunch of people like that.
Hello and imposter syndrome. And I'm like, at the time, like this was January. So at the time I had just hit 100 100 subscribers at the time.
And so that when
I was like, I'm not big enough. I'm not important enough.
We would have taken you. We loved that. And
Aww.
when you emailed and you said,
be like me, just try, okay?
Yeah. And when you emailed, you said,
well, I did.
You said that it was like it was going to be 3:00 in the morning for you to present. Then I was like, unfortunately, that's only when our speakers are going. We can't change you to a different hour. And I was like, and in my head, I was like, if she applied as a guest speaker, we could have made sure you got into a good time.
It's okay. It's okay. I took your advice, and so I've done a pre-record, very much like good. Margaret did for hers today. Yeah. And so I've been
you'll be in your pajamas all week. And during the premiere,
no, I'll probably get dressed, but I won't be because I'm talking about data driving, and I'm like I don't trust myself at 3:00 in the morning to remember words like algorithm. So I'm gonna pre-record this bit, and also then you don't have to I don't have to whisper because I've got an 8-year-old who's got school tomorrow.
Oh,
because it's Sunday. It'll be really early in the morning, and so I gotta be quiet. So I was like, I don't have to like worry about being too loud or anything. I can just record it, and then I'll pop in at the end for Q&A. So that was a great idea. I love that idea. It was fantastic. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. They're so sweet. Thank you.
Not to downgrade.
I wouldn't have done
Jennifer's
it at all if Emma Bennett hadn't pushed me into it.
There you go. Peer pressure.
Yeah. Emma said, have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet?
I really like the idea of us talking about some of the favorite moments and everything, and what people may have missed today if they didn't watch every single video. Like I did. My kids wanted to go to the pool, and I finally caved and said fine. But apparently, one of the things I missed was regarding podcast.
That was good.
Genius.
That was good. Yeah, that was a good one. I missed some of it because VN woke up. But yeah, no, it was a good one. And it was funny because everybody kind of took it on board at the one we were at before this. It was at the after. This is the after party. I don't know what
it was happy hour, I think, before this.
And everybody had their books because we were told in I forgot her name. Is it AF?
Yeah,
AF. You're bad with initials. Yeah. Because as soon as because I'm dyslexic, it's like they're just symbols. Anyway, everybody had their books up in the because that's what she told us to do. It's like,
be ready.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Anita, I think she said she posted what she said. I posted a pic of the book on my Instagram. The cover is gorgeous. I'm trying to think of. I went to the Instagram, but I don't. Oh, it's the one that she signed. Okay. I was like, I don't see it.
Oh, lovely.
Oh yeah. She said using the time to go support an author at her book signing.
I was like, I was trying to find her
gorgeous. Book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love that. That's what I like about this community is like the support of each other. And apparently, just when I think like, oh, this is all of AuthorTube. No, I see more people in events like this, and I'm like, I didn't subscribe to them. How did I miss them?
Well, I didn't know Joe. I didn't know Shantae. I didn't know Shelby. I didn't know Nicole Wilbur. There's so many new people I've met.
That's what I love is meeting new people and the different perspectives. It just conveys. Yeah, it conveys like how there is so many different ways to write a book, so many different ways to like not just like your process for writing the book, but editing it, thinking of ideas and what inspires you. Not to mention, good God, the amount of genres you could write in, and then the blended dramas and the subgenres. Like there's so many different ways, and I just love the melting pot we have. I adore it.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it too. And I've hit subscribe on so many videos. I was like, oh wow, this person is like, just love the way that they.
That's right.
What are you laughing at?
Deb, she put, I love the author process, and then I don't think she meant to put porn, but it came out porn. And
oh my God, where did I miss that?
it hid it. YouTube hid the comment. And I was like, but I know
Oh.
that. So then I showed the comment and it says porn. I don't think that's what she meant to put.
Oh, bless her. Did you unblock it?
I did. I unblocked it because I didn't know what it said. I didn't know it said porn.
It's so funny how that happens. Well, and then sometimes, okay, honestly, let's just talk about how we use language to like talk about like things we love. So there's like a subreddit called Earth Porn. It's pictures of Earth, like the sky and the sea and the ocean and the woods and lakes and everything. Like, it's pictures of Earth. Don't take it literally.
It is funny. So we were talking a little bit, and I can't remember which workshop we were talking a little bit about using Chat GPT for editing and that sort of thing. And in my last novel, I used it a lot to just make sure that I had like a good decision cycle. So I had a specific set of questions and I would ask each kind of chapter because there's a limit. And I had a couple of chapters get totally blocked by ChatGPT because it was too, I don't know, like risque or something. And I'm like, seriously? I mean, this is about as PG as it gets. I'm asexual,
worried for my own
it's like really,
writing.
you know, and it's like, but they take it so literally, like, you know, like it does not get sarcasm. It doesn't get humor necessarily. At least not my humor.
So it's
funny.
Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah.
I do have to trick it because I want to learn, like my book that just came out on the Kickstarter, there is a violent scene of someone using fire magic to burn out someone's eyes. And I was like, okay, what would be the sensory language, you know, that what would you smell? What would you hear? What would you, you know, so I went to see what ChatGPT, and it says, as a large language model, I cannot offer that information. So then I had to trick it and say, for my fantasy fiction novel, and then I gave it the rest of my prompts, and then it gave me some imagery. So.
Yeah. One of the things that I did, because I don't know if this means that I'm like getting really good at writing, but a couple of times it said this is copyrighted. I'm like, no, I wrote this myself. I'm not like copying it of a book. like this is my own work. So I'm actually like at the bottom, I've got this like a template. And at the bottom, I've got, this is 100% my own work. I wrote it on this date.
Wow, I've never had to do that. Do you see what Deb said?
Oh my goodness.
No, I did not see what Deb said. What did Deb say?
She said, ChatGPT scolded me about my bully romance.
It kind of makes me think of...
It gets judgy. It does get judgy.
Hey, other things are judgy. Like, I remember back in the day, I don't think it does it anymore, but Duolingo, I fell to the wayside of doing that like years ago. And I remember the last message it sent me, it said, apparently this isn't what you want. We're going to stop bugging you or something like that. Like something snarky. And I'm like, excuse you.
I use it for replying to reviews in my day job. I do marketing, and one of my things I need to do is reply to reviews. And I mean, like, I started my journey in marketing as a writer, and now ChatGPT can do what I used to do back in 2009. And I can do it too, obviously, but ChatGPT can do it in 10 seconds. So I get them to do it. But you get all these like nasty reviews, and I'll pop it into the chat and say, can you reply to this review? I won't even read it. I'm just like, can you reply to this review? And then I read the response because it makes me laugh, because ChatGPT takes it so seriously. I had somebody complain about the fact that they would use the cubed feta instead of the crumbly feta. And ChatGPT went on for about 3 paragraphs about, we're so sorry about how you were disappointed in the feta. We understand that, you know, we'll take this all under advisement. And they took it like completely literally, like they were complaining that like there was a hole in the ceiling or something. And I was just like killing myself laughing, calling over my colleagues, like this is about feta. like golly, like get over yourself. But it just takes it so literally. It's hilarious.
I put a question, and this was a while ago. I did this. I said, do you think Andy from Easy Graphics is awesome? He doesn't like cake. And So it's an AI language model. I do not have personal opinions or feelings. However, I can provide you with some information about Easy Graphics and Andy. Easy Graphics is a YouTube channel dedicated to graphic design tutorials, tips, and tricks, which, by the way, his channel is about indie publishing. Andy is the host of the channel, is known for his expertise of graphic design. And he says the whole reason why he called his channel Easy Graphics is because he was not good at graphic design. So he wants to do things the easy way. And so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's the thing about Chat GPT. I've seen reports of it or studies and everything where you'll ask it a question and it gives like almost a very authoritative, like solid answer until you start to research, because it'll reference a book or something like that. And guess what? The book doesn't exist.
Yeah,
they call it. It's not like Google or whatever where it's got access to all this information. It's an algorithm. It's an AI. Like it doesn't have access to information. It's just got access to language and how to formulate things. And I just find that interesting.
It is fascinating. It's fascinating.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a lawyer who asked ChatGPT for some cases that would go along with the case that he had. You know, because you know how they take precedents to the court.
Oh, no.
And he didn't read through it. He went to court with it, and the judge, of course, had to throw it up because not a single one of them existed. So they say it's ChatGPT hallucinates is what they call it. Hallucinates.
Yeah. Like fabricate its own reality, which is great for us authors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I wanted to do a reference. I fell down a horrible rabbit hole. I spent like 2 hours trying to find a reference for something to make a joke in my book, and it was stupid, and I shouldn't have done it. But I fell down this rabbit hole because I was arguing with ChatGPT because I was like, I'm trying to think of this scene from this movie. Can you remember what movie I'm trying to think of? And I kept asking, and it kept telling me these scenes in movies that I'd seen. And I'm like, that never happened in Back to the Future. Like there was no cat or whatever. And I'm like, where are you getting this? And I'm like, no, that I don't think that happened in, Mary Poppins or whatever. It's like there was no train rash in Mary Poppins. Like, what are you talking about?
It just makes up facts too, because I've hired out all of my blurbs for my books that I've published, and so I thought, to do that, I would do a summary of my book, and I go chapter by chapter, do a summry, and I thought, well, ChatGPT might be able to summarize it. I'll give it one chapter at a time and get a summary out of it. So I did the prologue, no problem, did it just fine. Put the first chapter in. The first chapter, it is a male asking a female to marry him, and she doesn't say no, but she's thinking no in her head. Okay. So it summarized the chapter, but didn't finish it. So I said, could you do it again and finish out the chapter? So, and when it did the first summary, it said, he asked her to marry him and she thinks no, basically in those terms. I don't remember exactly how it said, but that's what it meant to say. And so then when I asked it to do it again, it gave me a summary. It said, he asked her to marry him and she said yes. Same information. And it changed his mind.
Well, and it was probably changing.
Because
yeah.
Go ahead,
Nana.
It's delays in the communication is so funny.
Yeah, sorry.
Go Joe.
Oh, okay, fine. I was going to say that it's getting smarter because when I started, I was doing the exact same thing, putting my chapters in and getting it summarized. And when I first started doing it, it couldn't carry on. So I just kept it up in the same chat. So it's the same chat, same like you have like old chats. Yeah. It had the same one. At the very beginning, I don't have that information. But by the end of the, I was doing it for like 6 weeks. The end of that time, it went, it was pulling back stuff that I had shared the very first 2-3 chats. Right. Whereas when I was sharing those, it couldn't read between them. So it's getting better.
Yeah. Are you using the free version?
But it was,
Are you using
free version? Free.
Okay.
Yeah, free. Yeah.
So
it's $20 a month for the Australian paid version, and it's just a little too pricey for me right now.
So do y'all just search Chat GPT? Is that what y'all do, or is it
No, you put a question in.
No, so how do I get to the system? Like,
you just search for Chat
GPT. I'll give you the link.
The link. Yeah,
right,
download it.
I'll throw it in the chat.
Download it. You sign up for it.
Yeah, no, I'll throw it in. Can I throw it in the chat? No, I can't.
No, not if you're not wrenched. You can put it there, but no one's going to see it. But yeah, you can put it private chat.
I can make sure I wrench it.
Yeah, I've got it saved in my bookmarks. So
I need to save it in mine.
I have it in my bar above my computer because I use it for a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I use it for moral support.
What just happened?
So,
Shannon.
oh, we lost Shannon.
Okay, quick, dye your hair red. We got to fill in this.
I hit the wrong tab and I closed out. I'm like, what?
At least you're able to jump back in.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Okay,
I hit the wrong tab.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I use it for moral support. So if I had it at the time of submitting to the conference, I might have not had such imposter syndrome, because I'm like, I feel really bad. I don't feel good enough, ChatGPT. And it's like, okay, well, practice some self-care, and you need to believe in yourself. And I was like, oh, thank you, ChatGPT.
There are some ChatGPT plugins too, that even for the free version that I use. So I have it where I can, on any website, if there's one plugin, I'm on any website, even YouTube videos, I can hit Control XX and it will summarize everything for me. And it will send the summary to the ChatGPT website. So where I log in.
Yeah, and there's an app. There's an app for YouTube called ChatGPT for YouTube, and that's fantastic. I love that. I love that. I love that tool. It's fantastic. And there's also vidIQ has a chat. And what I like about that one, I mentioned this in one of the other chats, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit at the end of my presentation early tomorrow morning, or in the afternoon for you guys, is there's a chat. I'm not going to let it go.
1:20
what the
PM
coach
Eastern,
actually
by the way.
can read. Thank you. You can read the it will read your channel. So their paid version, but their free version, you can have access to this 3 times a month. They have little coins, and it's called they call it the AI coach, and it works exactly like ChatGPT, except attached to your YouTube. So whereas ChatGPT can't search the internet, this can actually search YouTube, and it can tell me who, like it can look and say, I actually do this live in the recorded version of my thing, where it's like, what should I do next? And it tells me, it goes, well, this video succeeded on your channel, so do this and do this and do this. And it's fantastic. It's great.
Okay, so you got your T's here to watch that.
Yeah, there's a couple different plugins for ChatGPT and things like that. What she was just saying with the AI coach with vidIQ. So it's really cool. Some of the things they're coming up with, that it's not just
it's great.
Your programs writing books for you. I know that's a huge concern, but there's other ways to use it.
Well, and I think honestly, it's going to make us better. Ignore my husband in the background. I think it's fine. They can ignore you. I won't. I can't.
Ooh, we're having a domestic.
Oh, no. So anyone who's ever been on my channel, and by the way, I never let y'all introduce yourselves. I just threw in links, and their links are down below, but I'll say the story. My channel is kind of like, I'm Han Solo, he's Chewbacca. You don't understand what he's saying, but based on my responses, you can guess we got a funny banter going along, and it just becomes hilarious. So you're welcome.
Welcome.
He said, I love that analogy. So, but
well, you aren't scruffy looking at all.
Yeah, I don't have a leather bomber jacket and everything. Alex is scruffy though.
I was gonna say
he's if he doesn't shave, he could pass and everything. But other than that, so okay.
Does that mean Spencer's R2D2 and nobody can really understand him?
Yes, our youngest, the 5-year-old Spencer, is R2D2. No one understands him. Yeah, if Zoe had a British accent, she could be wait, what? CP3O. Okay, I thought you said C3 or CP3.
Deb asked if you would shoot first.
Oh God. Okay. So that's my channel of I got a husband. I got 2 kids.
Go Deb, yeah.
Yeah, what Deb said. Do you see what Deb said to you?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Would you shoot first? Han Solo?
Oh, yeah. Joe, by all means, other than being in Australia and fighting the good fight.
Having to talk at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, my channel's Joe Writes. I'm a dyslexic writer with a marketing background. I'm fueled by coffee, and my superpower would be not giving up.
Love that. Shannon, fearless leader.
So, my name is Shannon. I write under the pen name of S.C. Houston and author of YA Fantasy Trilogy. And now I have a new fantasy romance that's out on Kickstarter. I would love it if you would support it. If you are into dragons, epic fantasy, magic, fae, hidden magic. Wait, I'm trying to think of all my tropes. Enemies to lovers, dragons. Did I say dragons? I said that probably already, but we love dragons. So yeah, if that sounds like that's up your alley, I am one half of the Author Tube Writing Conference duo here and the original founder of the Author Tube Writing Conference, which is turned into something that's really great. I'm glad it's come out the way that I had envisioned it. Yeah.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
I'm so glad the idea was formulated and executed fabulously. My dad, like, there's really, like, usually year one is like everyone in a tent in the backyard. No, you have a polished website, and that carried on to too, like, your vetting process and the sign up forms were kind of pretty much the same. Like, if anything, the only thing that changed, and it's a reflection of your skills, is and yours as the whole team, is you probably had a lot more speakers apply this go around than the first year.
We had a whole lot fewer apply, and I think it's because of
really?
Well, I think it's the theme. That's the only thing I could think of, because when I was starting to talk to people that I knew that applied last year, and
sorry, we play around too much.
Okay. When I was talking to people who applied last year, and I was like, yeah, the only thing I could think of is like people, is the theme maybe kept people, and there's several people say, yep, that's the reason why I didn't apply, is because I didn't know what to do for the theme. So
yeah.
Like, okay, then I probably won't do that in the future.
But I did like the theme. I felt like it was now, so for anyone who doesn't know, and I'll say this again tomorrow during my spiel, but I write flash fictions, which means I genre hop a lot, because there's no way I could, but that's another challenge of writing the same genre over and over again. But with the prompts I'm given, it kind of opens the door to whatever genre I want, whatever POV and such. And I feel like by having a theme, it pushed me to think, all right, what do I know that I could share? What is something that is me? And I felt like I got there, especially through all the flash fictions. And I admit, I made my slides last night. I at least did an outline like a month ago. Chandra and I were like, we both have to do it. And we did our outlines. But I just finally did my slides.
But you're a worried speaker, so
great.
Yeah, you're a good speaker, so I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
The way you filled in like last minute last year, it was just like, wow.
Yeah, and last year I was traveling for work. If anything, I had like IT issues a little bit. And I know it was a little sketchy, but it was fine.
Yeah, you
got through it. The video's still up there. Yeah. And I still have those slides. So
you can apply to conferences later with it. So always keep it. You never know what you're gonna do.
Yeah. No, that is like one of the most important things that I think anybody could learn, whether you're a writer who presents or not. External hard drive and update it regularly from your computer. One, it's going to save your computer not being so slow because everything's on there. And two, let's face it, Murphy's Law of writing. Something's going to happen.
Do you save to the cloud?
No, I am. I'm mostly on. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like cloud stuff. Maybe it's because like I suck with remembering passwords and everything. Like I have old YouTube channels that I can't access. I just can't.
Oh no.
So maybe that's my fear.
YouTube and cleaning up YouTube channels. They sent out that notice. It was not too long ago that said something about YouTube channels not having been posted to for a while. If it wasn't bringing new people, they were going to close the channels down.
That makes sense.
Wow. Because a lot of people are living on the laurels of those channels. Like,
well, no, it said something
they're still
about
getting ad revenue even though they're not posted.
Yeah, no, I think it said something along the lines of it wasn't getting any views and stuff like that, or something. I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but I think it was basically a channel that's not doing anything. It's not bringing anything in. Yeah, I saw that with.
I got kicked off my first channel by my daughter. She like totally steamrolled me off it, and she took over it and started posting Barbie videos. So I had to start this channel, or not this channel, but my channel. So there's another me out there, and it actually is me, but it's me and my daughter, and it's mostly her filming her Barbies. And she hasn't done that in a while. She's 8, but she was doing it sort of like 6 and 7. So it was crazy. She had this little like shop, and she was telling all these little stories, and they were like, she was really quite inventive, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, totally got. She it's funny because 2 years ago she said to me, "I'm not a writer like you, mommy," and she got really mad. And now writing is her best subject in school. And it started from that YouTube channel with me, kind of like, we started a podcast together. We did about 12 episodes, and she would just make up stories. Yeah, that's all on that channel. But yeah, I got booted off. I was like, not my channel anymore. It was hers. So I had to start my own.
I love that. Like, to me, that just kind of proves, like, with children, like, even growing up, I bet all of us have stories growing up where it was like, for example, I wanted to major in art. My dad was like, good luck with that. You know, and like there's that mentality of like, the arts isn't okay, but who cares? Let's set an environment to at least cultivate it. Because I'll tell you one thing, when everything got shut down, books, like libraries, the sales, I say, but like checkouts and stuff, that went up. Videos like Netflix, podcasts, like all of these media that is art, it increased.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, even like my husband has a bookshop here in Lithgow. Well, just I'm in Little Hartley, but he in Lithgow, and we like the bookshop just went skyrocketing, like huge during COVID. Shutdown wasn't mandatory. We had 2 shutdowns in Australia. The first one wasn't mandatory. The second one was. The first one, the library shut down, so we gave discounts for anyone with a library card. And the second one, he did deliveries because he wasn't allowed to work. So he would we had that thing online, and but through that innovation, it just went crazy, especially the second time, because people had watched everything on Netflix. So they, you know, it's like there was nothing to do but
Tiger
read.
King was saying nothing else.
But it was really great. Like, it was really, like, it's funny because a lot of, you know, places didn't make it through COVID and all that in Australia.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, it was good for us. Actually, COVID was like,
I'm glad it worked out.
My parents own a liquor store, so it was good for them too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Liquor stores were not, they were not forced to shut down because there's alcoholism, and then that would cause a medical problem.
Yeah.
So so their store stayed open while so many other places were still closed.
But Joe, I'm glad your husband was able to be innovative and capable of executing that innovation.
And delivering. That's smart.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
And everything. Because love it.
But yeah, no, it was good. And it's really encouraging from a writer's perspective just to think about all the people reading. You know, it's really like it's really, you know, because I don't know, I'm old, so maybe you don't remember, but 20 years ago when Kindle became a thing, everybody was like, it's the end of the book. And it's not. It's not the end of the book.
I feel like it's helped and everything. Now, I still have my physical books. My mom has an entire like shelves of first editions it's already been discussed. It's mine. It's coming to me. Which is why it was funny when I bought her first editions for Christmas. My sister looked at me and was like, "You just bought yourself a present." I was like,
exactly
"Not yet."
He was buying it for you.
Yeah, but that's what my mom wanted. She gave me an entire list of all the books she wanted and told me to hunt. So I went to secondhand bookstores in the area.
Fantastic.
But
go ahead. Sorry, I thought.
No, I was just gonna say I do think everything has reinvigorated reading, because if you remember years ago, the stats was like over like I'm just gonna shout a number. I don't know if it's right, but 75% of people don't read a book after high school or something. Like they just it was forced upon them for so long, which I don't blame them. It took me a while to come back to books, but it was forced upon them for so long that they just don't read again for fun or otherwise. And I found that, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I think we're going to
run. When I was in uni, sorry, Shannon.
What?
I said, I think we're going to run into something worse in the next year or so because of ChatGPT. And such programs.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who are saying, I mean, the guy who came up with the idea for 20 books to 50K, right? He said, last year my company published X amount of books and next year's could be 10,000, but the X amount of books is like 1,000 or something like that. So yeah, he said that in a podcast. So, you know, and he said because of ChatGPT, so there's going to be a flood of books, I feel, in the next couple of years. And it's going to change up the way we approach being an author. I think that's just what I think.
God.
I think things like, you know, more interaction between author and audience is going to be needed to establish a good, like, hey, I'm a human, you know, writing this stuff, you know.
Well, wasn't it?
I actually asked. Sorry, Natalie.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I asked ChatGPT when it first came out. I asked the app what is the difference like between you and me, basically. I can't remember the question asked exactly, but basically I'm a writer, you can write a book like this, you know. It said ChatGPT said that while it can put ideas like things together, it's really an analytical program, and it can't create anything new. It can't create anything innovative. It has no innovation, and it doesn't have emotion. So while it can understand, analyze something, it doesn't have the emotion. So, I mean, story is all about feeling, and it's all about innovation. So I'm not threatened at all by ChatGPT. I'm going to paraphrase.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Stephen Fry. No, it's fine. It's fine. Stephen Fry said about Kindles and e-readers that they threaten books the same way stairs are threatened by escalators. And I feel like you know, this is the same thing. Yeah. It's like I think the written word, the creativity, art is threatened by AI the same way that stairs are threatened by escalators.
So I don't feel threatened by what it can produce. I'm threatened by how it's going to flood the market and change marketing, because visibility is already hard as an author. So there's good. I think there's going to be a change in how we go about recognizing art in the book place. I don't know.
There's a lot of oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just touching on this. So that's my fear, is it's flooding the market. As someone who focuses on flash fiction, I submit to things, and I can tell you, I already see in the rules now, it says nothing where AI
generative
prompted.
AI.
Yeah. Even if it generates and then you put your human touch on it and make it better, like, it's not allowed. And for my idea is, how can you tell?
Yeah, you
know?
At this point, they are working on the technology to pick it up, though.
I hope it is possible, because to me, as someone who hasn't been published and has been trying to be, whether it's for short pieces of work or actually getting a book deal, it's almost disheartening. It makes me not want to try. Like, already just feel like there's no chance. Like, you're human, but computers are better or something. Or there's so many people who can work the system with the computer better than I can when I'm not using computers. And it's just, I'm not going to get picked up, which it's already, let's just talk about like how many resources there are out there that tell authors, don't give up, keep trying, because if this is what you want to do, you're gonna get rejections. If you're lucky, you're gonna get rejection. Otherwise, you're gonna get non-response whatsoever when you submit. Like, that's the way it's gonna be, and it's a little disheartening to think the market's going to be flooded. Though I will say, this morning, I'm trying to remember his name, author Level Up.
Yeah, Michael Laurent.
He was talking about how apparently some authors who dictate, so that makes them go faster, but this is only in my opinion, it's only a media. The person is still the creator. It's just a media file here. But he said that because they can work faster, they get less money. And he said, so just don't tell. He said, so just don't tell your publishers that you dictated because that's the rumor. I don't know if it was a rumor that he heard, but it's a rumor that I'm hearing at least. I don't know if he had it from first source or not.
I heard about this when Anita was talking about I actually saw the cover too. There was an AI generated cover that won, if I remember right. And then the controversy was that they realized it was AI and people were upset. And I didn't know that they closed down though for the next year.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I know
there's a lot of talk about in the artist industry because the AI generated images actually do pull from the internet and they pull from other artists and then they put it together. So it's I guess that's what the text is doing too, but the text doesn't feel quite as copyright fringy. Like when you're taking this photograph that this artist took or this painting that this artist took and putting together to create an image, that feels very steely as opposed to the ChatGPT using an algorithm to put together some, fake scene in a movie. That doesn't feel quite as sleazy.
I think that does come down to though how people are using it, because you could say you want something in the style of this artist and we'll pull from that artist style. But if you don't say that, it's all it is pulling a combination of ones and zeros from all over the internet and it's putting it together. At that point, if it comes up with something similar, it's almost by chance. Unless it's something to do with your prompt, you put an actual artist name in and stuff like that. So I've generated images in Midjourney and Leonardo AI. I don't use artist names. I try to do it as ethically as possible, but I've gone through and just like, I wonder if this is like anything, because Google can do a reverse image search. So I'll put it in, I'll get it, and I'll do a reverse image search on it. And all the ones I've done that on, there's nothing on the internet like them. I've never had anything as a match.
That is smart to do a reverse image. And I
know
is
really cool.
There's resources. It's usually in the tense of term papers to make sure that you're not plagiarizing. But there is plagiarizing check websites, which I think would be really good.
Grammarly does it.
Grammarly
the pro
does
version
it?
of Grammarly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the pro version of Grammarly does plagiarism check, and it's really strict. So it will take, I think, 7 words. So if you use a cliche, chances are you're going to get a plagiarism mark against you. Like it's
another reason why you should stay away from cliches.
I used to teach, college English and literature, and I had my students use PaperRater. I didn't like Grammarly. The interface was tough. It was tough for me. In the first semester I used it when I taught, my students had issues with it. So I found PaperRater, and it does a free grammar check as well. But it only does up to like 5,000 words. But then I would tell them, I said, yes, these things are good for plagiarizing checking, but yet there are a series of words, 4 and 5 words put together you're going to find those 4 and 5 words put togetger common throughout the English language. So it's going to come up as plagiarized. And I would tell them my last name always came up plagiarized. Every single time I put like a paper in there, my name came up plagiarized every time. So
it's like those people who are like, I feel bad for people who have the same name as someone famous who changed their name when they got famous or something. Michael Jordan, let's just pretend that wasn't his name when he was born. Now every person named Michael Jordan is like, this is me, or, buying something. And they're like, no, that's not Michael Jordan. He's like, it is my name. Like, I know I got the same name as the famous guy, but trust me, this is me tied to this. And then, oh my God, not to mention the people who have same names as somebody who committed a crime. And then they get arrested. It's like, no. You're looking for the guy 2 counties over. Like, do your fact check. Like, did you even look at the picture tied to it?
I don't know. You probably put it on screen here what Anita said about the author. The creator lied to the author and SPFBO about it not being AI.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Yeah, because I'm sure you got to sign a contract that says you.
Yeah.
And Kickstarter does not allow any AI generated stuff on there. Generative AI, just so you guys know. I mean, it doesn't mean that people don't lie.
Cool. Neither does Critique Circle, which is a free beta reading program. You're not allowed to use that at all, which I think is a good thing, because like if I wanted the AI to check my stuff, I just put it in the AI. I wouldn't bother to post it on a site.
That just makes me want to start using those to check myself, to protect myself, even though I know I created it, but just to remove any chances. And then that way, if something does come up, luckily, like for example, my website has, when I posted it says posted, but my stories on my website. So there's dates and times listed there. And that protects me if someone ends up using those similar storylines, at least.
Grammarly also stores your documents if you do it in the app. Not if you do it in like Word or whatever, but it stores the documents. So
I need to start going in there.
Especially for short form, like I'm not sure if there's a limit on word count. I've never stuck a novel in a Grammarly doc, but then you would have that recorded. You would have that recorded as well, so you could say, look, and I ran the plagiarism against it, and you could have it. Like if you're really, really worried, especially
it's unfortunate that we have to jump through all these hoops, but honestly, I rather do it
for human.
I mean, people have done this in the past though, where they there was a thing not even 5 years ago where they say, once you finish writing a document, your novel, whatever it is, put it in an envelope, mail it to yourself, and don't open it. That way, if it ever came to question whether or not that was yours, you could show them that, hey, I mailed this to myself on this day. It's never been opened, and that proved that I'm the author of this work. And Morgan Lee, she was talking about
email it.
Yeah, I get email. Morgan was talking a few weeks ago about how she handwrites her scripts, her manuscripts, and she wasn't sure if she'd keep them or something. I can't remember exactly what she was saying. And this is right at the time that I was thinking, with all this stuff, AI flooding the market. And I think it's going to be more important for audiences to know the differences. Like, this is a real author who wrote this, to differentiate which ones belong to who. And I said, that is author authentication right there. You have the manuscript written. I said, that could be worth something one day, especially if AI does end up, I don't know if it'll get to the point. I think I'm hoping that we'll have enough regulation that we won't get to the point that AI takes over a lot of the creativity. Because it's going to get better. It's not going to get worse. The technology is going to get better. So I don't know, but I told her, I said, I would keep it. You could sell it one day.
Yeah.
It's
no, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I was just doing some research for an upcoming video about outlining. And I was looking at some of the old outlines, handwritten outlines from famous authors, and they're really cool. They're really
I love watching other people's processes. Like even in On Writing by Stephen King, he input some of his original versions and the marks and edits in it, which is giving me my own idea for my work. But I kind of like that, to see what people edited, why they edited it. That sounds like a lot of TEDs there. You get what I'm saying.
Edited is a really hard word to say.
But I love it. And so there's been books throughout history that have that, but it's usually like the classical non open source stuff.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, public domain stuff.
Yeah.
So that where we uncover like Jane Austen's comments or something.
The original Mickey Mouse is about to come out of and go into public domain.
Oh God! Again. So we're gonna have Mickey Mouse murdering everybody. They did that with Winnie the Pooh. That is their go-to. And then they almost did it with the Grinch, but they called it the mean one or the green one or something like that. It's like, we know what you're doing.
Hey, what would you guys think if we did I don't know, we or me maybe? Someone was saying that the first page critique panel was kind of a good idea. And I was like, oh, that might be interesting to do it like every couple months to kind of keep the idea going.
Yes. And that, I feel like that is a good teaser, especially because you said you got 35?
Yeah, we had 35 entries this year.
You could easily just do like 10 at a time and stuff. And I think that's great, especially because also you might have to input a rule because a lot of people have more than one piece of work. And you might have to put in a rule of like, you can't submit another one. You can only submit every other time if you got picked or something like that. But
there's some channels, they're not writing channels that do critiques of YouTube channels. So I watch a lot of these, and they'll actually have like you have to be in the chat live to get your work critiqued. Like you have to tune in. I'm like putting myself out of the game because you won't do it at like my time because I'm in Australia. So this is a stupid suggestion because I'm just like stabbing myself in the back. But something like that means that then they're there and you know, and it's really cool. And they actually do like you have like the ball and they have like it like randomly pull it out. Really kind of cool.
Mine was done by StreamYard. They have Daniel Batal and Nick not Nick, his brother Nimmin, the other Nimmin, I think it is. they do once a month. They do channel reviews, and I got picked for one. Actually, I got the coffee cup up there from them because I won. Because it was a bunch of channel reviews, and they do it like a game show, and so everybody gets put into this wheel when their channel gets picked, and they check something, and at the very end they check to see, they start knocking people out. They say who's got this, who's got that, and I passed all the checks, and so I won.
Wow, congrats. Fantastic. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Love to do that.
First page of your novel. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I love
but you know, with the first page critique panel, we gave the works ahead of time to the judges, so they didn't come, you know, not knowing what they were going to say, and I think it helps them to know what to say. You know.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe just the people have to commit to being in the chat or something. Ahoy!
Hi, Heather.
Oh.
For everyone who's just coming in, if you want to rewatch this thing, we've covered at the beginning. I'm sorry. All I remember is GPT right now. We were talking about. I can't even say it. We've talked about so many things. We talked about some of our favorite things from today. Gave some props. We even got a little bit of treat of what Joe's going to talk about tomorrow, like 1:20 p.m. Eastern, if my time memory is correct.
Yes.
Right. Like 3 a.m. her time. Yeah. Listen, for the art, we're here for.
Because we're milking that one.
Yeah. But we've covered a bunch of different things, as well as how to protect yourself. Yeah. As AI stuff is coming out, like how to make yourself to prove that you're human. It's like, I guess, your own cache.
How to prove you're human.
your own cache of like, this is my idea. If there's any duplication, it was someone using my idea, not me stealing from others. So things like that.
We also talked about your husband a little bit.
Yeah, my husband is Chewbacca. I'm Han Solo. I should watch that.
Yeah, she shoots first.
Yeah. I will say we all are parents here, and everything. Joe is going to have to whisper.
Because she's 3:20 in the morning, and her kiddos got school.
At 3 in the morning, and my daughter has trouble getting up for school as it is. So
yeah. So might as well just make it as easy as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think. I don't know. I know we talked about so much
more. A lot of stuff. But we didn't have a dead air moment.
Yeah, we started talking about the theme, which is how we got onto ChatGPT. We were talking about the theme for technology this year, and we kind of fell down a rabbit hole of
a little bit behind the scenes of AWC and what came to it. We talked about Fictionary. If you want, we all have dabbled with it a little bit. So if you want to check that out, link is down below. Again, I'll say this again, even though I said it earlier. Click the link below to go to Fictionary. Don't click like Fictionary's website, because then you're going to be shorted 2 weeks of a free service.
And Joe also mentioned how more people who click on the link for the AuthorTube Writing Conference, the more likely they'll support us again next year if we come back.
Exactly. Which there is tons of freebies too, giveaways for this one. We had a little bit behind the scenes. Apparently, because of the theme, turns out there was not as many guest speakers.
There wasn't as many guest speakers or speakers.
And which is yay, I'm happy, thanks, because I got picked.
Yeah, me
But
too.
at the same time, it's unfortunate because we talked about how in this community we're still finding people that we haven't subscribed to yet. That's part of AuthorTube, part of these resources. So just this melting pot of information and guidance. And I did it this way. Oh my God, I never thought of that, and trying something new. And my best piece of advice I would say is, as you're winding down for bed tonight, go to the website and look at the schedule for tomorrow and click on the YouTube videos. You're going to click notify me, go ahead and like the video, and also write down the ones that you want to watch live, you'll watch live. The ones that you can't, already click it and say watch, put on your watch later list. Because otherwise you're going to forget. And there is some simultaneous videos.
And all feedback forms are going to be due by 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. Yes. So if you want to rewatch them to leave a feedback form response, you'll want to get it done before then.
Which, by the way, the feedback form is like 3 questions. All right. The first, I did it on one of the first ones. Like, it's enough questions because you could expand more if you want and take longer, but it was an optional section. But it's like 3 questions on a rating scale from 0 to 10 of how likely would you do your research for this? How likely would you want to come back to AWC to see this again? I'm surprised my memory works this long after I filled it out.
I think if you how often or how likely are you to promote this to someone else or something like that?
Yes. And those are the 3 questions that are like mandatory. And that is, you can click on that, answer that in the time that it takes for YouTube, if you're on the playlist, to automatically pull up the next video in the playlist for you. So real easy. It is per session to fill that out, but like 3 questions. Like I said, I need to go back and fill out more actually.
And if you put your name in, you can go in for the draw for all the goodies that they're giving away. So
we have 168. We just had another one respond. 168 responses so far. So, but we've got 42.
Now, I will say it's not exact because I thought so. Authors like myself might be wrong because my thumbnail and everything says session 11. I thought I was session 11, but I'm listed as session 13. So look for the name for the person is my point when you're doing the drawing.
Use the right name. See, here's the issue, Natalie, is that we assigned the sessions and then we had speakers who we made concessions for that we had to change the sessions who ended up not presenting anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But here's the thing. Again, like I said, no one but you knows. Well, now they know because you just said it. But like when you're behind the scenes, you see and know everything. And you're like, oh my God, this. Oh my God, this. And everyone else is just like, this is the best thing ever. I'm watching this video again. I need to look up more dictation apps. I need to do more research about before I get interviewed at video and podcast, which by the way is AF Stewart's presentation. But like, it is so much stuff.
Which is great.
From Friday, beta reading with Morgan Hazelwood. I'm surprised I remember her last name. I forgot it the other day.
Brian Cohen's video, Anita said.
Yes, exactly. Like this. I think also if you ever miss videos, I do think happy hour and after parties are great to jump on because then you're going to hear people talking about the sessions that they liked. And so it's kind of like think of it as a before the movie trailer and everything. This is your decision to decide whether you're going to watch it again. And I mean, when you get someone giving firsthand experience of I love this, it kind of is nice to go out for it. And not so.
Yeah, for sure.
And Deb says she's a parent of grown folk. I'm a parent of a grown folk too.
So am I actually. I'm a stepmom and grandma.
Oh. My oldest is 22
and then
now.
My oldest is 12. I'm not like my niece just left and she's 13 and she's like 2 more years before I drive. And I'm like, oh God, because if it's 2 more years for her, it's 3 more years for my daughter. And I'm just like,
oh no,
I don't need it. And then that's when I chime up and I'm like, that's when you're legally allowed to.
Doesn't
you
mean
still got
we're having the ears pierced argument with VN Vian's 8.
Oh.
We're having ears pierce argument. So I'm pretty lenient as a mom. I'm like, you know what? You can do whatever you want as long as it's not permanent, but ears pierce falls in that permanent thing. So I'm a little bit more hesitant.
I think we were talking her into trying to start at least her podcast.
Vian, get back to her podcast. Yeah. No, I mean, it was fantastic. It was really cute. But she's total ham. And then the oldest is Jessica, and she is 27. And then a grandbaby who is 5 called Millie.
They grow up fast.
So. They do, because I was thinking about it. I was like, my one niece is 13, the other one's 10, my daughter's 12, and then my son's 5, and I'm just like, oh god, it keeps happening. Like, because I look over pictures, and Facebook doesn't help. It's like, this day of 6 years ago you posted this, or I'm looking at a picture when I was pregnant with my first, and I'm like, oh my god, I was a baby.
I had a picture come up of Vienne when she was 3, and we were petting a koala. And I remember holding her and thinking how heavy she was so she could reach the koala, and how heavy she was and how big she was and how she wasn't my baby anymore. And this is, 5 years ago. And I'm just like, oh golly. I thought, well, my goodness, my motherhood is done. My child is grown, and she was 3.
Mine went really quick.
No perspective.
I have, my younger son is 10. I lost a lot of babies in between, and I wasn't getting pregnant for many years. So there's 12 years difference, but he is huge. He is, he's taller than me now. I'm 5'6.5", and he's 10. And he was huge. They thought they were going to have to take him early from me because he grew into a full-size baby at 5.5 months. He wasn't developed all the way, but he was big, so big that they thought they were going to have to take him. But then he stopped growing. But I had to go in every other week to get his leg bone measured, and then every week when I got closer to my due date. So yeah, I couldn't hold him.
How heavy was when he was born?
He was normal size. He was 8'5". 8 pounds 5 ounces, which my oldest son was 8 pounds 5 ounces, but he grew slowly up into 6-month clothes, but he never wore 6 to 9 month clothes. He went from 6-month clothes into 1 year clothes. 3 months later, he was in 2-year clothes. 3 months. It was every 3 months he was changing clothes. So now he's slowed down. He only put on 5.5 inches in the last year. And it's only, Well, the year before that, it was like 7 inches. The year before that was 8 inches he put on.
Oh, bless your
pocketbook.
He'll be
a superhero when he grows up.
Yeah. Well, but he's neurodivergent. So most people, they don't even know. They think he's older because he's so big. And then they start talking to him, and, he doesn't know how to communicate very well. When you said you couldn't hold your little girl, I'm like, I couldn't hold mine past a year old. He was too big. He was heavy.
Mine still wants me to hold him now. He's 35 pounds, but he's tiny for his age and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm getting to that point where I'm getting tired. I'm like, dude,
Yeah. Vienne's lighter than my granddaughter. So my granddaughter's 5 and Vienne's 8, and Vienne is very skinny and very light. And so I'm just weak. So I can pick her up now, but it's work.
I was like 6 pounds 11 ounces. My daughter was like 7 pounds 7 ounces, and then my son 8 pounds.
I was 8'5", and both my sons were 8'5".
I want to say mine was 8, he was 8 pounds 7 ounces, but I was just like, this is the biggest. I'm afraid to get another. We keep on going up. I don't like this. And then my sister.
I don't know why anybody does it twice. I did not have a good time. Having a baby is not fun.
I was good with just the one, but my husband really wanted another one.
Oh. Yeah. After having the second one, we I'm in the hospital scheduling my husband's vasectomy.
Yeah, no, I did. I told my husband, because I've had a lot of issues with, pregnancies and stuff. And they thought that if I ever did have another baby, I might lose everything, which in the year I did. But I was like, we're done. This is it. Because, he was also, he was autistic. We didn't know. There were so many things wrong with him when he was born. He was not a happy baby from, the moment he woke up, all he did was scream and cry. And that's all he did all day long. And I had very bad postpartum depression. And so, yeah, it was really, really rough. And I was like, we're done. Go get some fixed.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's worked out, but I know how in those moments it's just like getting close to it with like a colicky baby. Like it's just it's rough. It's not just rough on you emotionally and mentally, but it's also rough on your marriage. It's rough. Like having a baby alone is rough on a marriage. Everyone talks about, when are you going to have kids? Why are we going to purposely put something between us? Like, we just learned how to train each other. Now we got to start over, putting more players on the board. No, it's like divvying up Monopoly money after you're halfway through the game.
Well, we've made it hour. I think the other one's already stopped.
Yes, the other one stopped. We did a quick recap for everybody to catch them up. Highly recommend everyone look at the schedule. That's what I plan to do when we're done here. Check out Fictionary while we're off if you have time, or go to sleep early so you're well rested before the 10 a.m. Eastern start time of the final day and everything. Or start going through your watch later list that you've been filling up since this started, because you had life happening over the weekend too. I still have watch later videos from the first one, and I feel like this is like a big nudge of like, look what you should have done.
Well, Leslie Penelope is our first one up tomorrow morning. She's our special guest speaker, our last one. She's a wonderful speaker. I mean, I love listening to her podcast. She is a hybrid author as well, I believe. She started off as indie and then got a deal. So now she's got some traditionally published books.
Wonderful.
So,
hybrid was the word I was trying to look for earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, it's like the moment we tell ourselves, you know what, I want to be a writer, every single word that's ever existed just escapes our mind. Every single one.
I'm promised I'm a reader.
Yeah.
I know words. I know.
Anytime I mispronounce something, my husband gets on to me and I go, sweetie, I'm a writer, not a speaker. I always mispronounce words. So,
actually, I've heard that it means a good thing when you mispronounce it, means you read it.
Yes. Okay, Joe, if you don't mind giving your outro in a little bit, Joe's link, YouTube channel link is in the description, and then Shannon will go after with the link tree.
All right, cool. So, I'm Joe Wrights, and join me at 1 p.m. your time, 3 a.m. my time, for data-driven writing, where we will look into tools that we can use to help us actually get published and write things that are marketable and good and get and succeed at our roles, which I'm still working out, but I'll share what I've learned so far, and I'll see you there.
And someone who has worked it out because she's published a strategy.
Well,
fearless leader.
I think we can always learn. At least for me, I'm a lifelong learner. Say that
absolutely.
So, but I'm Shannon. I write under the pen name S.E. Houston. I do have a YouTube channel where I publish content about writing and my self-publishing journey, although that has kind of taken a backseat this year because my goal was to write more words. And so I mostly do writing sprints. I do writing sprints 4 days a week in the morning time, my time. So you can find me there. And of course, I am part of the AuthorTube Writing Conference. I also have a podcast with Morgan Lee and Ben Pegg from Learning to Write. It's self-publishing tips and tricks. And we start our next episode, our next season in July. And actually, Natalie was on with us for one of our off-season episodes as we talked about Chris Fox's book, 5,000 Words Per Minute. So that was really a great episode. I liked reading his book and finding out more about dictation and how that worked. And it went kind of along with what Michael was saying today. Love what he said. I was like, oh, that sounds like what Chris said too, Chris Fox. So yeah, I'm so happy for everybody who's come to support all of us and support Natalie here on her channel as our after party host.
Yeah, the person, the thing, that on the place. Yes, and you're on my channel. I'm also a fellow lifelong learner. Definitely, that's what's great about writing is that you should never stop learning, because you're either researching for a book, the market has shifted, you need to research a new thing. The way to promote is different now and everything, like getting ready for video interviews or podcast interviews or sending stuff out. It's just marketing yourself on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and which, by the way, are all subject matter that's going to be covered in this AWC. So I'm not just throwing out things for people to just research on their own. No, it's going to be offered to you by someone who, like myself, was a guinea pig and learned something and wants to keep you from making the same mistakes. Hopefully it all works out for you. Please look at the schedule for tomorrow, plan it out your day, make sure you got water nearby, snackage within reach, and we will see everybody tomorrow in chat or live on screen.
Bye.
Bye, dears. I swear I'm clicking the